You know, I think they've got everything in their repertoire. Their pitching's very good. But I must say how happy I am that Australia really are hitting the ball a lot more against Japan and have been far more effective over the last few games.
Yeah, you can see it here. This is some highlights from the last time they played. Pippa Adkins, she had a double. She said that was off Miu go-to. I mean, Australia, like you said, they have been getting on base. They've been generating opportunities. The real difference has been in the margins. Bases loaded, one-run game, 2 outs. They found a way to generate some speed on the base pass, bring the runners around. This was the decisive knock and a bases clearing triple in the last game that they played. Australia has been in both the contests. They were up 3-0. They lost that game. It was 1-0 late, and it was just those little moments like that that have made the big differences so far for Japan today in this tournament.
Yeah, look, I actually think there was lucky enough to go last night after the game against Japan and go out into the team meeting, and I think the thing that came out was the number of runs that they've left on base, Australia. So they have actually been getting on. They know that this is a problem, and they need to really focus on advancing those runners to the next base.
I'm sure that must be a feel-good sign in the Australian camp. I mean, the last time we saw them here in Brisbane, they were going against the USA, and they struggled to generate some base runners. Now the base runners are here. It's just how do you figure out to advance them past third?
Yes, and as I said before, the Japanese are so quick. I mean, we usually pick the ball up and throw it to first. They probably do it a little bit faster than us. You know, they are playing and training. This is their job, 6 days a week. They probably get 1 day off, and which is really quite difficult. But, you know, who wouldn't have dreamed as a softballer to be able to do that?
It's a great point you make, and you got to live that experience playing professionally in Japan as well. You mentioned the 6 days. You mentioned the speed. Is there anything they do in the trainings that sharpens that toolkit of the speed of the game?
Oh, well, they do simulated training, of course, and they put their team out. And very different to us, they really make you catch and use the weakness against your own hitters, even at training. So they're under duress the whole time when they're training. So, and if you're not doing the right thing, the coaches will have a go at you for calling the wrong thing and not making it difficult for the other team members.
They train with speed, and you see it come to fruition in these games. It's one of the reasons why Japan is the reigning Olympic gold medalist, the reigning World Cup champions, and they've got a 2-decade winning streak versus the Australian senior squad. But Australia has been inching closer and closer. Joyce, I mean, you must be pleased as an Australian legend of the game, just a softball fan, to see some of the younger players in this Australian lineup step up. Has there been a player, we'll go through the team list shortly, that's maybe in the starting 9 today, that's a little bit of a feel-good story for you from what you've seen so far?
Well, my other job is being a selector, which I probably can't say too much in depth, but look, I've been really impressed with all of the young players who've come in. They've really stepped up. They've done a good job, but certainly Abby Bastian, every time she gets into bat, she looks dangerous. She hits the ball. I think she's only been K'd once, and that's because James said, oh, gee, she hasn't been K'd yet, so we're blaming him. But certainly her, and then we have Alyssa Mile, of course, who is not her first time, and we have Maya Jaros, who really has stepped up as well. She played shortstop, and today we see Abby Bastian in the shortstop position, which will be awesome.
Abby Bastian 3 weeks ago was not able to vote. She just turned 18, and now she is tasked with being in the middle of the infield against the world #1, and it's a spot that's earned. Let's go back to night 1 of this tournament, where it was a bases-loaded situation. Abby Bastian, in her debut at-bat, put the ball in play. It helped cash in 2 runs, and you said it off the top of the broadcast, Joyce. If you can put pressure on the base pass, sometimes that creates the runs.
Oh, absolutely, and it was proved on the first game when Australia played Japan. They're not used to people hitting the ball hard against them. Okay, so they really putting the pressure on right from the start is going to put them on edge. They are so used to putting everyone else under pressure you know, we've seen that they're human. We've seen that they make mistakes. We need to take that as an advantage and go with that.
They're going to go against a pitcher named Misaki Katsumata, the Aussies are. This is her first start of the tournament. She has appeared in 3 games, hasn't allowed an earned run, 6 strikeouts in those 5 innings. She's basically been the piggyback off of Ueno, the legendary Japanese pitcher in her club team at home. She's a world champion as well. And now we get to see her start a game rather than come out of the bullpen. Is that a bit of a different mindset shift for a pitcher, knowing you're opening the game rather than having to be ready at any time?
Oh, definitely. And some players are really good at starting games, and other players are good finishers. And it just depends. And people can change during their career as to whether they're a good starter or finisher. It just depend on your psychological ability as a pitcher. And I'm sure all pitchers know what I'm talking about. But I find it really hard when coaches actually tell you that you're one or the other.
You like to be ready.
Yeah, I think they should be able to do both, to be honest.
Well, Katsumata has been able to do both. She's done that with her club team, her professional team back in Japan. She works in tandem with Ueno. Katsumata has started a lot of games, but on the world stage, and especially at the pointy end of the Japanese season, she has been the woman that has come in towards the end of the games. She is a woman that is proven to have an ability to do both, and it's going to be a good test to see against these Australians in a different situation.
Yes, it will. And look, I suppose having Ueno as being your own personal coach is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would work.
Yes, and I think she looks a lot like her, and I have to say even Goto looks a lot like her as well, and they all tend to use the same wind-up that Ueno uses.
Katsumata warming up. Let's go down to our sideline reporter, Georgia, who's standing by with a Japanese athlete.
That's right, I'm here with Kyoko Ishikawa. You had 2 hits in the last game. There's been a lot of different things being thrown at you. How have you personally adjusted to the different styles of the opponents?
前戦も2ヒット打ったり今まですごいいい成績を収めてますけれども、相手によっていろいろ作戦というか自分のやり方を変えたりしてるんですか？
しっかり戦う、どの相手でも全力で戦うってことをやってます。
So always she wanna try to 100% and try to any opponents try to best of her the power. So that's why.
And you're one of the leaders in this team too. What has been the big focus across the camp so far?
このキャンプ、強化合宿について何を目的としてここに来ていますか？
もちろん自分の強化もそうですし、日本がどうやって強くなっていくか経験をしていきたいなとは思ってます。
So the first thing is experience. So of course the team member is know each other, but more like a strict make a teammate, and also the herself, the individual skills to grow up.
And finally, just a fun one. I hear you're here for a little bit longer than just the tournament, potentially some team bonding activities on the cards, maybe even a trip to Australia Zoo after the games finish.
キャンプ、この試合が終わった後も日本は滞在が続きますけれども、その間に何かアクティビティ、動物園に行ったりはするんですか？
しっかり練習したいと思います。
Practice.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah.
Great to hear from one of the leaders of the team, Joyce, and it is a good point. This is not, when you talk about focus, that is, this is not in season for the Japanese players. They're coming from winter. They're building up to their professional season, which starts in a couple of months. So it's a bit of an adjustment and building phase for them, too.
Oh, it is. They will start at the end of March, beginning of April for their season, and then they finish again in June, beginning of June. Then they have a break and then start again in September.
Katsumata in the circle. Pippa Adkins leading things off. We'll get the lineups for you in just a moment. Let's play some softball here on a Saturday afternoon at the Softball Australia Cup. And Pippa Adkins wears one to start the game. And she's going to continue her big tournament. She was already a leader in hits, but now it's a hit by pitch.
Yes, nobody cares how you get on if you're a leadoff hitter. That's the most important thing. I know I keep saying it, but leadoff hitters need to get on.
Nicole Conacher will bat second. Jenna Trim batting third. Alyssa Mile fourth. Kylie Steamers fifth. Abby Bastion sixth. Chelsea Robinson seventh. Sarah Ryu eighth. And Amber Hood at ninth. Ball put in play. A good attempt from Yui Nakamizo, who's playing third. Shortstop is Kudo Shio Soto, who has been excellent at second. Then we have Shimoyama at first base. Kumi Ide, one of the younger players on the team, catching. Fujimoto in left, Kawamura in center, and Natsumi Fujimori in right field. She has also been excellent. This is Katsumata in the circle. And Joyce, you said it off the top of the broadcast. Australia is getting on base versus Japan. They haven't been able to find ways to really break through with a huge dent in the scoreboard other than the first inning from when they played. Big early opportunity.
Yes, and this will be really important for Conacher to get that runner to second base. Once they're on second, they're in scoring position. You know, lots of pressure here, but she just needs to put that ball on the ground and get moving.
How cool must this be for people here at the Brisbane Softball Association? Pippa Adkins on first, plays here. Nicole Conacher on at the plate right now, also plays on this diamond in her club ball season. Funny enough, both of them not from Brisbane. Pippa Adkins from South Australia, Conacher from St. Ives in New South Wales, but they've made their home here. Both extremely intelligent women as well with their university degrees.
Oh, who wouldn't move here?
This one knocked towards the outfield. It drops in for a base hit. There's 2 runners aboard for the Spirit with nobody out.
This is the pressure that we're talking about, coming out early, really putting them under the pump. You know, this is not something that Australia have been doing pre this tournament, and it's so good to see them back doing it again.
They've set it up for the middle of the lineup. This is Jenna Trim up to bat, and I challenge you to find a more in-form hitter entering this tournament than Jenna Trim. She was excellent at the Gillies Shield. She had hits in 8 of her last 9 games to finish that tournament, and 2 hits yesterday versus New Zealand.
Yeah, she's looking good, and especially coming off US, where she didn't have such a great tournament, she's done a big turnaround.
You mentioned that US series that happened a few weeks ago. Australia just with 2 hits in 4 games versus the USA, but it has looked like a very different, energetic bunch of Australians that have approached this game and sort of attacked it in this tournament this week. Here's the pitch to Trim.
Yeah, I think they really, when they played the US, it basically told them the job they had to do. They needed to do some homework before they came back and played. And I honestly think they have done that. And plus having a bit of a new look within the team has probably helped as well.
Trim goes down on strikes. Here's Alyssa Mile. She's come back from university playing at Bradley in Division 1 and has looked the goods in her return to Australia. That pitch a little bit outside.
And batting cleanup in number 4. She'd be impressed with that.
Well, she was 3 for 6 with 4 RBIs on the final day of the Gillies Shield in the 1-2 final and then the grand final that helped New South Wales win it all. So she's come through clutch in big moments, and you don't get many bigger moments than playing world number 1 with 2 runners on base.
Absolutely, she's great.
Here's the pitch to Mile. Mile drives one to center field. Kuramura moving back. She makes the play on the run. Runners will tag back. A nice defensive play. Advances the runners to first and third, but Kawamura did a good job tracking that one, Joyce Lester.
Oh, that was a fantastic catch in the outfield. She had it right from the start, but she really had to travel a lot of ground to get it. What a great hit there from Alyssa Mile.
Almost dropped in, but you talk about Japan being opportunistic. This is what we talked about. Australia, they've generated base runners. They've struggled to score versus Japan, but if you flip it around, positive to Japan, they're doing a great job of defending in these pressure situations too. Kylie Steamers knocks one to left field. Fujimoto moving back. Steamers drops it in. The Aussie Spirit have the lead. They might have a second run. Here's the relay. Play at the plate.
Safe.
Steamers drives in 2. Australia up on Japan.
Oh my goodness, Kylie Steamers. She so read that changeup perfectly and has hoiked it. We've been talking about her and how well she can hit and how long she can hit. She is a game breaker.
And break the game she does. Steamers with a double that stretches into a triple. She drives in a pair, and Joyce, it comes with 2 outs on the board.
Fantastic, and I love that Coach Porter sent her home and put the pressure on Japan straight away. Again, that's how you do it. Love it.
Now Abby Bastian, who might be the busiest woman in Australian softball, the newly turned 18-year-old. Bastian has played in the last month and change in the under-18 championships, the 23 championships, the Gillies Shield. Has played some club ball in South Australia, and now the 18-year-old is debuting for Australia in this series.
Yeah, and look, she's in a real pressure situation here. I know they already have 2 runs, but you know, really need to dig in and score that 3rd one. Steamers on 3, 2 out. Can Abby Bastian do this? I think she can.
Well, she goes swinging. She's not going to die wondering. It does even the count up at 2.
That's true.
Got to be a lot of trust put into a teenage player, one of 3 on this Aussie Spirit side in the Softball Australia Cup. 2-2 pitch, runner on 3rd, 2 out. Swing and a miss, so a nice bounce back from Katsumata, but not before Australia spark for 2 in the top of the 1st.
Oh, no, that is an absolutely amazing start from Australia. Great hitting, Kylie Steamers, really seeing that change up and timing it perfectly to go over her head.
Well, let's take a look at how Australia will line up defensively. Amber Hood is in left field, Sarah Ryu in center, Nicole Conacher in right field. Kylie Steamers, who just had that 2 RBI double at 3rd, Abby Bastian at short. Alyssa Mile will play second, Jenna Trim at first, Chelsea Robinson catching the balls and strikes from Kaya Parnaby, who's very familiar with a lot of these players. More on Kaya in a moment. Here's how Japan will bat in order. Natsumi Fujimura, the reigning East MVP of the Diamond League, leads things off. Risa Kawamura plays with Big Camera, one of the power clubs in Japan. Iri Shimoyama will bat 3rd. She's won 3 championships in a row with Toyota in Japan. Saori Yamauchi, she's hit home runs in 2 of her last 3 games. Kana Kudo, the 2-time batting champion in the Diamond League. Yui Nakamizo quite literally has not been out, bats 6th. Shiho Suto will bat 6th. She's been 3 for 3 earlier in a game this week. Urara Fujimoto will bat 8th. She had 333 in a World Cup. Is that good? And Kume Ide, the youngest player on Japan, who is Ueno's catcher at Big Camera at just 20 years old. There's a lot of credentials, a lot of experience and pedigree on this professional team of players on Japan.
Oh, there certainly is. And when you look at the names and when you see what they've done, you think, you know, they can surely hit. But, you know, Queensland have got their 2 runs up, and Kaya Parnaby, look, she's still coming back after an injury, and she's surely a great hitter, and she knows these batters very, very well. She's just coming off 12 years in the Japan League, and so she's will know them, and it's just a matter of her putting the ball exactly where it's being called by Chelsea Robinson.
Parnaby announced her retirement from the Japanese Professional League not too long ago. She's pitched in a couple games versus Japan. She was excellent last night versus New Zealand in a win that she had to be excellent. New Zealand laid on the pressure, and that pitching combination led by Parnaby helped hold. Here is Fujimori leading things off, plays with Hitachi Sun Diva. She is the reigning MVP in the East Division of the Diamond League. You can just say no more after that. That's all you need to know. You're the MVP of a competition filled with professional players and World Cup talent.
Yes, and the amount of batting training that they do is amazing. Very well known for that foot up in the air stance that she does when she hits, holding that front leg up high, a bit like the baseballers do.
And what does that do? Is that a timing thing? Is that what it's for, a little mechanism, a little trigger?
Yes, for her, definitely.
Well, the ball put in play over to first, and Jenna Trim scoops up the ground ball, steps on first. This feels like an important inning just to consolidate a scoring start for the Aussie Spirit.
Oh, it definitely is. And Kaya Parnaby will know that. She's experienced. She needs to keep it cool, make sure she does the basics right, just get the ball on the edge of the plate. They know their batters well. They've done the scouting.
There's the 25-year-old from Bic Camera. That's her professional club in Japan, Risa Kawamura. Bic Camera, a bit of a powerhouse historically in that competition, no matter what iteration it's been in.
Yeah, yes, it's changed its name so many times because the company did change quite a bit. I think it used to be Hitachi Takasaki back in the day. But now, Bic Camera, of course, which is a huge company in Japan that support this team.
And if they don't win it, they're right near the pointy end of the competition every year, if you take a look at the historical records.
Oh, look. And they've never, ever taken on a Westerner ever to play except one, and that was Melanie Roach, the Australian player, Australian pitcher. And I'm assuming they did because of how different she pitches to all of them.
This one chopped towards center field. Moving on to it is Sarah Ryu, the Western Australian who's really broke out the last couple years. And Kaya Parnaby, soft contact for her first 2 outs.
That's excellent. Number 3 coming up, hopefully.
Yuri Shimoyama doesn't get much easier. She is a World Cup champion, always among the RBI leaders in the Diamond League. In fact, with Toyota, this woman up to bat has won 3 straight championships in Japan.
You said Toyota?
At Toyota.
Toyota automobile. So they have Toyota automobile and then they have Toyota Shockey. There's 2 sides from the same company. And, of course, they have some of the best pitchers in the world have gone there to play. And they take advantage of getting to know those pitchers. That's what makes them so good.
You hear these names, you hear these companies. It is quite literally company teams if you're just joining us for the first time in Japan. They work for the softball division of these big Japanese companies. Allows these players to train full-time. Well, over full-time, you could probably add it up. What, the average Australian job here requires you, 37.5 hours for a full-time?
Yeah, they'd train more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at night time, they're usually in the car park swinging, practicing swings. Crazy, but motivated. I really want to be good at this.
Kaya Parnaby's been living that too. A woman in the circle, pitching professionally in Japan. All these facilities have access to gyms. So sometimes pools, nutrition, the whole 9 yards. Many facilities, they share space with other athletic sports, whether it be swimmers, rugby teams. Depends where you are.
Yeah.
Soccer.
Yep.
Means you also get to be in that environment, training with elite athletes from other codes. Here's Parnaby.
Well, if you're in the case of SGH, which is Kaya's team, and also Stacey Porter's, then they also have an art gallery, which is very bizarre and gorgeous.
I like that. That's some balance. 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's a walk. You get some readings here as well. 98. It's about 98 to 103, it looks like, on that rise.
On her fast pitch.
On her fast pitch, yeah.
Yep.
And 84 on the changeup.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Kaya Parnaby has had a bit of a road to recovery. She had a significant bicep injury. Well, here's a woman that can change a game with one swing of the bat, Sayori Yamauchi.
The big question here is if they'll steal this runner.
Yamauchi had a triple the last time these two teams played. It cleared the bases.
Oh.
It was the getaway moment. It was a 1-0 game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Late in the game, Yamauchi stepped up to the plate, bases clearing triple in Japan. snuck away late after Australia hung tough for almost the whole game.
Yes, that was a beautiful hit, but it wasn't even a strike. Set that ball sailing up high, and she tennis shot it for a 3-base hit. Doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it.
She started 0 for 5 on day 1, and she started day 2. She ended up hitting a 2-run home run versus New Zealand. Earlier this morning, she hit a home run. So her last 3 games she's played, she's either had a home run or a triple. Had a great chat with Georgia after one of the games, and she said, hey, I was nervous making my debut on day 1. I was feeling the nerves. I was feeling jittery. But day 2, she just tried to focus on what she does well, and that's a command of the strike zone, and she could drive the ball. 3-1 count. And it's 2 base runners all of a sudden from nothing. And now they're going to take advantage of that free base. So instead of runners on first and second, Joyce, it's 2 runners in scoring position.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. They'll always take the extra bases. Now, someone really needed to tell Chelsea where that ball was, because it obviously went up in the air, over to the side. And as a catcher, you often can't see. You're in a very confined area, and you need people to be able to say, hey, right, mate, that's where the ball is. So obviously that didn't happen. She kept looking in the opposite direction.
I'm going to trust you on that, Joyce, as one of the great catchers in Australian softball history. Kanakudo, 2-time batting champion now to the plate with 2 runners in scoring position. What kind of communication as a catcher do you have with Kaya Parnaby in this situation too?
Well, obviously giving the signals through. I was just checking to see who was giving the signals, whether it's from the bench or whether it's from Chelsea.
Worth noting that Chelsea Robinson on debut this weekend too. This one popped up. It's in foul territory. Steamers is under it, and Parnaby bends but doesn't break. 2 runners stranded. Australia lead 2-0 after the first inning. Well, I think it's a good opportunity to head down to our sideline reporter, Georgia Radjic. Georgia, who do you got for us?
Well, I have Softball Australia CEO Sarah Lowe with me. Sarah, it's been a massive summer of softball. Started off with Chinese Taipei back in November, of course, had the USA here in January too, and now we have the Softball Australia Cup. It's all got to be leading to something, right?
Absolutely, and what a wonderful summer, right? We've had the number 2 USA here, number 1 in Japan, and of course number 5 in Chinese Taipei, number 23 in New Zealand. What an amazing summer, and we're definitely heading for the World Cup in April 27 next year.
And of course that World Cup's going to be here in Brisbane, so it's a good chance for probably a lot of these opponents to see the lay of the land here in Queensland, but also, of course, to just enjoy having international softball on home turf in the lead-up.
Absolutely. Since we announced the World Cup, we've had all those 4 countries come out and say we want to be here, and we expect that even more of them will come. USA have committed to coming back again later in the year, and it's all on the runway for the World Cup. And when we win that, it's straight to LA.
Oh, of course, always looking ahead, maybe not just to LA, maybe Brisbane 2032 as well, maybe lead up. But I'll head back to you, Eric, up in the stands.
Great stuff, Georgia. Thank you very much for that. And Joyce, Sarah touched on it there. We've had 3 of the top 5 in the world come to Australia. And we were talking before this game, and you were saying, I can't remember the last time we had so much softball at this high level in this country in this short amount of window. Oh,
no, it's such a great opportunity, and that's why you're able to have such young players in the team and be able to test players at this level to see what they can do. A lot of times you only have a few games, and it's really tough to give players chances simply because of that. Well, how do you see it? Every game counts. So here's a good testing ground, and all this year has been.
You want a chance for a player? How about this woman up to bat right now in Chelsea Robinson? 29 years old on debut. She has waited a long time to play for the senior squad of the Australian women's softball team. She's won multiple championships and been dominant in South Australia. She's helped break a long drought at the Gilly Shield. She's played in the fast pitch competition in the USA, but has always just missed out on selection on that top squad. No more, finally getting her opportunity, and what a cool moment for her this week it's been.
Oh, and she's played for Far North Queensland.
There you go.
And was awesome, absolutely awesome.
She's been excellent everywhere she goes. I know she's been waiting a long time for this. Probably thought maybe opportunities had gone by the wayside. A couple years ago, she became a mom, got back in the gym, and she is in maybe as good a shape as she's ever been.
Yeah, she's a very good player, and all the way through she's just become better and better, and I think she was just really becoming good when she decided to have a family, and now she's come back strong. It's good to see her here again.
Oh. And now Chelsea Robinson has a hit for the Aussie Spirit.
Awesome, Chelsea Robinson. She'd be very happy with that. She's really looked good in the batting box, but hasn't come up with the goods. Good time to do it. Lead-off hitter, my favourite, getting on. Love it.
Well, you said at the top of this broadcast, Joyce Lester, almost called you Joyce Broadcast. That could be a good nickname, though. But you said pressure is the key to this game, generating pressure on either side of it. It's what Japan has done so well. And now a bunt laid down by Sarah Ryu, and Chelsea Robinson goes in scoring position. But on that note, first 2 innings, 2 leadoffs have got aboard. Now Australia playing the team game to advance the runner over.
Yes, and it's great because we've been talking about the bunt and how the bunt isn't used enough, and or it hasn't been effective. Players haven't been able to put it down, but perfect bunt there by Sarah Rio. Perfect sacrifice, getting the runner to second base, and that's what it's about. It's about getting out, basically, so your runner can get to the next base.
Well, now Australia has 2 cracks at it with a runner in scoring position to try to add an insurance run to the mix. And Amber Hood, the 27-year-old, also on debut. It's a story not too dissimilar to Chelsea Robinson in terms of she's been on the periphery of a national selection for a long time. She was on junior spirit squads. Finally cracking the top team in all of the land, you could say. And yeah, she's been big with South Australia at the Gilly Shield for years, and now we get to see what she can do here. Played some great defense yesterday in her first game, and now she pokes one over to short. Kudo checks the runner. Amber Hood can fly, made it close, and there's 2 down.
Yes, and yesterday was her first game for Australia, so I was lucky enough to give her a cap last night after the game, which was great because I watched her for so many years play for South Australia. Always been a tough competitor, and this is her second game for Australia, so let's hope she can fit in and do the job. And you just have to have the same feeling when you feel well playing with your state. You just have to take it into the next level of that feeling of confidence.
Pippa Adkins, hasn't she really developed over the last bit? Entering today, tied for the tournament lead in hits. Has hits in all 4 of the games she's played. Oh,
very impressive. She's obviously come after the US tournament and done her homework. She has just been amazing. But we need her to keep doing it, We really wanted to keep pushing hard, and more pressure here. Great to score this runner on second base.
She's an impressive young woman, obviously a high-level softball player, but just graduated uni as well. She's a doctor. I don't know how you have the time to do both of those jobs at a high level, both softball and in the medical world.
Yeah, she's devoted.
You have to have so much focus, but a big strikeout from Misaki Katsumata, who allows the leadoff runner, but holds from there, keeps Japan in touch, just down by 2, heading to the bottom of the second inning.
Yes, and that was a much better innings for Japan. Great start by Chelsea Robinson, and of course by Sarah Ria getting around to second base. But unfortunately, we couldn't follow it through. And I think the one thing that Australia need to remember is those girls who are getting hits, those pitchers are going to pitch very, very fine to them. They're going to try and make sure they don't get good strikes. They're going to try and entice them. So usually at this stage, and I'm going to use Stacey Porter as an example, how many walks she would get in a game means just as much. To be a good hitter and to stay a good hitter through the tournament, you have to remain patient.
Now, Stacey Porter is one of the greats in world softball, period. Let's just eliminate Australia from the equation. It's a good example to draw from. But Joyce, you said something interesting when Amber Hood was up to bat. You said you presented her with that cap after making the debut. What is that experience like from a player, do you think, when you finally receive that jersey, that hat, everything you've kind of dreamt of growing up in this country, playing this game at a high level?
They spoke to her parents, and her parents, I think, nearly cried when they spoke.
They did on the broadcast.
Yes. And I think Amber, comes from a great group of softballers. You know, her sister's a great softballer as well, and she's had to watch her younger sister play for Australia. And that must be super tough, man, you know, that your younger sister gets in before you do. But you know what? She's got a chance here, and you know, she looked very proud last night to be here, and she's a great competitor.
Here is Nakamizo at the plate right now. She's 4 for 4 with a couple walks. And how about that? That is the first time all weekend. This is day 3 of the tournament. This is game number 5 for Japan. That is the first time Nakamizo is heading back to the dugout out.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I didn't realize that. That's pretty amazing.
Hit a huge home run versus New Zealand yesterday. Here is Shihu Suto. Plays for the Shining Vega. I loved having Justine Smethurst make her commentary debut. She gave some great insights from her playing as well. In her playing days, playing in the Japanese Professional League. I thought one of my favorite insights. She gives great softball insights. I liked hearing about the Shining Vega team bus. Apparently it looks like a spaceship, and it just bolts around all around Japan.
She's absolutely right. Because I was there. I was like a liaison when she was there. So I wouldn't really call myself a coach, but I basically looked after the girls from Australia to make sure they were fine over there. Because it is very difficult. Wow.
Bunt laid down. Scooped up by Robinson, no play required, and you just got a wow from that, Joyce.
Yeah.
What prompted that reaction?
Perfect, absolutely perfect. You just knew as soon as she put it down how quickly she got out of the box that she was going to be safe. Textbook, really.
She led the 2024 World Cup, that final group stage, en route to a championship in batting. Did Suto, who is now on first base. So I think it's a nice little one to have on the resume.
Batting averages are pretty amazing, aren't they?
Fujimoto, yeah, she has been ridiculous this tournament in the field, at the plate. One of the smallest players on the team at just 149 centimeters, but she has such great command of the strike zone. Here's Kaya Parnaby, who will have faced her both on the world stage and in Japan. When you're facing or catching someone that has a smaller strike zone in terms of their height, is there any adjustments or cues that you have to make, or is it just business as usual?
Business as usual. I think it's the same with the right-handed and left-handed hitter.
You
might
your
choose.
Spot. Ball slips away. Here's Robinson trying to throw her out. She got her a couple runners out on the base pass yesterday, but Suto using that speed to get into second. Sorry, Joyce.
It's all good. That was unfortunate, but they're quick. Every single time they're quick, so you just have to do everything. You can't even pause for a second, otherwise you're going to miss the runner.
Now there's a runner in scoring position. Japan playing from behind for the second time this week. Bunt laid down again. That one goes foul.
Well, there's a message here, 2 bunts in a row, and they're trying to put the pressure back on Australia to try and make them make mistakes. They get 1 bunt down, and all of a sudden they're backing up with another one. So Australia really going to have to move in with less than 2 out to try and make sure that they can't get any more runners on base.
Carrie Porter in Australia deciding to field a bit of a younger team in terms of experience at the international level. Flying out to left field, Amber Hood makes the play, checks the runner. That's some nice work from Kaya Parnaby to induce some shallow, soft contact.
Yes, that was excellent. Of course, but still with a runner in scoring position, but 2 out now.
And this could be a name we talk about for a long time in international softball. Kumi Ide, the youngest member of the Japanese national team, just 20 years old. She was a standout player in the 2023 Under-18 World Cup and now catches Ueno at big camera. I think she could literally be Ueno's daughter. I think Ueno's, what, 43, 44?
She
Ide's
could be.
20.
I mean, Ueno, I suppose, around the same age as Stacey Porter. And Stacey's still playing over there as well during that time. And she chooses and wants to play till 20 years, which gives her another 2 seasons over there. Wow, 20 seasons playing in Japan. She needs a medal. That's hard work.
You have to be so good at everything, just keeping your body sharp, keeping your mind sharper to find that resiliency to push through a few more aches and pains that I'm sure pop up at 43 rather than 20. Oh, the youth healing powers. Those are special days. This finds the inside edge of the plate, and Parnaby with 2 outs on the board. Runner in scoring position has Ide on 2 strikes. Can Australia get through another clean inning versus the world number ones? Here's the pitch.
Oh,
hit up the middle, getting
home.
The wave around home, scooped up by Rio. Here's the play. It's cut off by Parnaby, and the 20-year-old Ide drives in a run and cuts the lead in half for Japan.
Well, not really the time Australia wanted her to get a first hit.
That was a timely one for Ide, though. Tell that to Ide. Good piece of hitting just to stay with it. And all of a sudden, they turn the lineup order to over for the second time through, and Fujimori, reigning MVP, can try to tie the game now with a runner at first.
That was a good cut there by Jenna Trim to make sure the ball didn't go all the way home. Otherwise, that runner would have advanced to second base. They had no chance of getting that runner home. They needed to. It's so tough. You have to charge that ball in the outfield. And you've got to be confident to be able to make that out at home place with these runners. They're so quick. There's that pressure we keep talking about. And the same thing that Coach Porter did in that first inning, sending that runner home and really testing the Japanese outfielders on their throw. And certainly enough, our player was safe.
Great opportunity for these players on both sides to really test your decision-making ability when you don't have time to make a decision. What are you going to do? What's your instinct? What's the quick decision you make? Fujimori plays with Sun Diva. You can see Ide trying to get a good jump as well over at first. Japan will do anything to simulate some pressure for you. It's actually Fujimoto who is standing at first base right now. She just scored and she can fly, but with Ide being the catcher and there being 2 outs on the board, it's an opportunity to put the woman who just scored back over at first base.
Yeah, you don't want to score a second time in 1 innings.
Swing and a miss.
Excellent.
Parnaby gets her chasing on something outside. 1 run conceded. Australia still have a lead after 2.
Which is perfect for Australia, keeping them back. And I think that was such a good innings for them to be able to keep them only to 1 run. Because they're very, very dangerous. Often when they get 1 hit, they back it up and back it up. You saw they get a bunt safe, and then they're going to pressure you again by putting another one down in the hope that, you know, you're not going to be able to get that one either.
Well, let me take you back, everybody listening at home, and maybe Joyce Lester here in the commentary booth, to a simpler time. The year was 2004. Australia beat Japan twice in one Olympics Games en route to a medal in that tournament. And we've been trying to dig through the history books, and certainly at a World Cup, Canada Cup, championships, Softball Australia Pacific Cup in this event, we haven't found the last time that Australia defeated Japan at the top senior level of a competition. It's hard to beat this team, is what my point is, but Australia is starting to inch a little bit closer.
Yes, and I think a long time ago, and I think in the first Atlanta Olympics, Australia put Japan out of the medals, and I think in those days it was always a tight game, but usually Australia won, so the tables have really turned. But Japan play smart. They get the best pitchers in the world to play there. They scout them, and they become the best players in the world.
Conacher steps up to the plate. Talk about impressive people in terms of their university degree. She's a mathematician, works as an actuary now, but also plays here for the Saints, which is one of the 10 clubs. 10 clubs, is it? I mean, you know this ground. As Conacher bunts and moving over quickly as Nakamizo. And what a quick, smart play from the third baseman moving in there.
Yeah, that was very quick, and that's what we talked about, how quick they get rid of the ball. They play under duress all the time. It's excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, I do know this ground, but not anymore. I live in Cairns now. Okay, so I am hardly down here, so it's great to come down to Downy Park.
I think it is, well, maybe it was or still is 10 clubs. There's usually 4 powerhouse clubs, Saints being one of the clubs that's usually in the mix. Jenna Trim's up to bat right now. Conacher from New South Wales moved down here. But here's another New South Welsh woman. Jenna Trim. So clutch for New South Wales en route to a Gillies Shield championship. New South Wales taking back the Gillies Shield. They've won that Shield often, and it's not something New South Wales like to relinquish either, and when it goes away they generally go at it hard to bring it back.
Yes, they're definitely they're definitely one of the leaders, consistent leaders in Australia at the Australian Championships.
Jenna Trim has seen her role increase over the last few years, and there's Katsumata getting her to chase. Evens the count up at 2. Trim 3 RBI last night in that game you called versus New Zealand. She was excellent in that contest. Some patient at-bats throughout the week as well.
Well, she keeps getting better as she goes along, Trim, which is good. You want to be strong at the end of the tournament. Excellent batting. And that is so typical of what we were saying before of, they're going to pitch tight to you when you've been hitting the ball, and that's when you need to be patient, because you will be able to get walks. You have to make them come on to the plate.
Australia now, on that note, have had base runners in all 3 of their offensive innings so far. You do feel like, though, they're going to need another couple of runs if they are going to want to win this game. Japan's offense has been lethal throughout the week. They've shown they can generate runs in a few different ways. Here's Alyssa Mile.
Beautiful long hit last turn at bat. Unfortunately taken very well by the centre fielder. It was a beautiful catch.
Had a big championship Sunday at the Gillies Shield. She drew in 4 runs in her 2 games. 1 to get New South Wales into the gold medal game, 1 to win it.
She started the tournament the first day. She actually was at home. She was sick, so I was unaware of that. So the team doctor had said she needs to stay at home for a day, and possibly the best thing she could have done, really, because since she's come back, she, looks so much better and playing well.
Well, you'd have to be in some sort of form and health if Carrie Porter looks at her and says, hey, you know what? You're playing Japan. We're going to put you in the 4 spot here in the lineup. Imagine the confidence you get from having your coach give you the nod for a moment like this. Here's the 2-2 to Mile. And she knocks one to the right side, right on cue. Australia and the Spirit have 2 base runners.
And look, that is exactly what you have to do. Like, she just put her bat out at that and struck it so it just went over this side. You don't need to take these huge cuts at the ball when people are really pitching finely to you. Right on the edge of the plate. You don't need to take a big swipe. Just place it. Throw that bat at the ball. Perfect, Alyssa Mile.
Runner on first and second for Kylie Steamers. You see the 2 runs on your scoreboard for Australia. They came off the bat of this woman from Victoria, now lives in the Gold Coast, but her double scored 2 runs to put Australia up. She's got 2 base runners again. Last time it was with 2 outs. This time there's 1 on the board.
And they'll be pitching very tight to her as well. She can afford to have a really good look at the pitches.
She's got a hitter's count at 2-0.
Oh,
she just missed that. It flies out to left. Runners will stay put, but she was not far off from cranking that one.
I know, that was a really good piece of the ball. Oh, dear.
Now just trying to take a third, yes. And they do. Australia taking the game on. A window opened up and trims on third.
That was very unusual by the Japanese people. A fumble here and there and the ball getting away. Just in all the throwbacks. So after this, you'll see when they throw it through to 3. Just the throwback.
Well,
I was unable to see it, but just a little bit of a flip, and did very well to actually run through to third base and be safe.
Abby Bastian, the 18-year-old, saw something she wanted right away and just missed, goes foul. There's the tag that you see from Jenna Trim, or the, not necessarily a tag, but just a bounce. Oh, she slid under the tag. That was closer than it looked to admit the eye. Bastian was the rookie of the tournament, winning that award at the Gillies Shield just a few weeks ago. Swing and a miss helped Australia win a gold at the under-23s. She's been the leader of a Hills team in the state competition that's gone from last place to first place in South Australia, and she's been a key part of that. Anyone you talk to about Abby Bastian, they always say she's got remarkable maturity for somebody that just turned 18.
She looks like she's taking this all in her stride.
You don't pick an 18-year-old on the senior women's side without having a good reason to do so. Now a patient at bat.
Yes. Look, she just looks like she's meant for the game, and she's been put in shortstop today, so obviously the coaches have a lot of confidence in her.
She's got 2 outs and 2 on. She's the world number 1. Swing and a miss. Bastian having a crack, but Misaki Katsumata moves the ball around the strike zone and gets her chasing. And that will end the threat, but Australia pressure again.
Absolutely, we love it. And every innings they seem to get runners on base. And every innings they get their leadoff runner on. Not this time, they're second, but still runners on base, which is perfect.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on KO across Australia on Game Time Sport around the world. Eric Balnar, Joyce Lester calling the action for you, Georgie Rajic. We'll have some more interviews for you throughout the game. Australia, they lead 2-1. Pippa Adkins and Nicole Conacher reached to start the game, and with 2 outs, Kylie Steamers drove them home. Kaya Parnaby being competitive in the circle. Japan finally broke through in the bottom of the second. The 20-year-old Kumi Ide was the one that made the dent there, and now they head to the bottom of the third. Japan It's a one-swing game right now. Things are only going to tighten up from here.
They certainly will, and just great Kylie Steamers. You know, she is always capable. She can be not hitting the ball and then all of a sudden put the ball over the fence. So she's a very tough competitor, and even though things aren't going well for her, every now and then she will really pull her hitting out of the bag at the most impressive time.
I remember watching Steamers at a Gillies Shield a couple years ago in Adelaide, and she hit the definition of a rope over the line.
Yes, look, she's a very good player.
Here's Kawamura leading things off, the product of Bic Camera, Japanese Diamond League. Kaya Parnaby getting the opportunity to try to go a second time through the lineup.
And they still had another go at putting down a running bunt the first time, first pitch that went down.
Some pressure on the pass. Swing and a miss.
That's a great out. Love it.
It's the second strikeout, both in order now for Kaya Parnaby.
And this is great for Kaya. This is just what she needs for her confidence, her coming back after the injury to come in the center against Japan, where she's played all this time, and she's looking impressive.
Parnaby also part of that New South Wales team that just won the Gillies Shield a few weeks ago. Crazy summer of softball for the top level athletes in this country. You have to play 3 different weeks in tournaments against top 5 countries from around the world. Have your senior national championships, and with the summer of softball and all these opportunities, every player that was available and healthy to play seemed like they did play in the Gillies Shield because the selectors were watching.
Yes, and it's terrible you sit right behind. It must be terrible you sit right behind the pitch watching everything, and they must be, it's not like they can forget that you're there, so it must be a pressure situation. But the good players take it in their stride, and they just say, pick me.
Shimoyama up to bat right now. We have Joyce Lester, the medalist and game caller here, but I am going to ask you a question as a selector, which I know you don't love, but I'll keep it easy for you. I'll put that hat on there for you as Shimoyama toils away. Here is the 2-2. Fouls one away. Out of the Gillies Shield, you have multiple. You're not the only selector in Australia. How much stock do you put into a senior women's open championship where the best from each state are playing? Do players sometimes, you don't have to name names or anything, but can you tell me if you've seen a player there and you said, you know what, she's pushed her way on the spirit because of how she's carried herself and played at these tournaments?
Oh, easily. You know, I think you go, and I suppose you look at someone who stands up, and I call it standing up. They stand up and say, pick me, and that means they hit the ball, they make the outs, and they do it consistently. And if players are going to do that, then they have every chance in the world and do it consistently.
I'm just glad you're confirming it is a valued tournament in terms of scouting and watching how that unfolds. Gillies Shield is an awesome tournament. If anyone has a chance to go to that event live around Australia, it's probably worth a trip to wherever it gets hosted. They do an awesome job, just a tremendous display of spirit and toughness, too. I mean, they're playing 3 games a day. Sometimes it's 40-degree heat. It's crazy.
It is. You don't want to know my thoughts on that. It's too many games. I want to see players playing at their best, not cruising.
I like it. Sayori Yamauchi has been impactful, to say the least. She stepped up to the plate in her first turn at bat. Reached, put 2 runners on. She's had 2 homers to lead the tournament so far.
And when you think you have a team here who is coached by Leika Itsugi, who was probably the best batter for Japan all those years ago in 2004 at the Olympic Games, she was an awesome hitter.
Ground ball over to second. They flip for one. That's a nice play from Alyssa Mile to challenge the lead runner.
That's an excellent play. Backhanding it across to Abby Bastian. And, in another case, you might have had a double, but unfortunately, just making that out was pretty amazing. Well played, Alyssa Mile and Abby Bastian.
There would not be too many. These are two inexperienced players in terms of international caps, Alyssa Mile and Abby Bastian. Big show of confidence from Carrie Porter. Also just to kind of, let's see what we got, kids. Go out there and show me what you can do in the middle of the field. Talk about the greats in Australian softball who have played in the middle of the infield. Makes a big difference having that leader up there too. Hanakudo, the two-time batting champion in the Diamond League. Well, once in the Diamond League, once in the iteration before in the Japan League.
I know. That Diamond League, because I was there beforehand, I don't know all the new names. I just keep calling it Toda Hospital and Renaissance. Well, it's hard for me.
It's still the same, right? I mean, it's the top level. It's professional. It's the same grounds and clubs. Just a bit of a different skin to it, I suppose.
Big marketing, I would say. Yeah.
Those atmospheres at the games, too, look pretty crazy as well. Loud when the team is batting. Quiet if you have no opposition fans in your ballpark when pitching, but generally there's some traveling fans that make some noise, too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the bands that they have and the cheer. I love that they have cheer men and not cheer women. It's so great and very different to how they do it here in Australia.
Well, the cheering is also positive. I mean, you go to a footy game, let's say, in Australia, and often the remarks you hear from the crowd, to be totally honest, isn't positive, right? You're kind of heckling the umpire, or maybe you're booing a player you don't like. This is all very positive. You would have a player like Yui Nakamizo who's up to bat right now, and she may have a song that's written about her or has her name inserted with the band playing, cheering her on.
Yes. And it's noisy. I mean, I'm not sure I love it, when you're playing, because you can't hear anything that's going on. But it's so traditional over there. And when you go there, you get your cheer things. I just went there back last year and watched Kaya in her last games with SGH, which was sad with her leaving. But it's also great to see that group of Westerners. And I want to say Gaijins, because that's the name you use in Japan. But now that you can have as many, you can have so much more. Once upon a time, you could have 2, and they had 5 playing for SGH last year. It was amazing.
That's increasing, right?
Yes, the amount of money that's being put into softball in Japan. I'd really love to see companies getting behind teams here and starting to do that sort of thing and really making traditional women's sport come to the fore rather than it being males sports dominated in the women's arena.
Runner on first and second for Yui Nakamizo, who was retired for the first time this week in her last at-bat, flying out to right field. And now she's got 2 outs, 2 on, and a chance to potentially give Japan the lead. Kaya Parnaby under pressure. How can Australia respond to these moments? That's the big question in this one. Ground ball over to third. No. It takes a funny hop. It's scooped up. They're sending the runner home.
Yes,
play at the plate, and she's safe. Yamauchi slides under the tag. It took a funny hop, but Japan have tied the game in unorthodox fashion. Let's take a look, Joyce.
Oh, that's so unlucky. What are the chances of that happening? The ball goes straight down to third. Normally steamers would have that. It hits the bag and flies straight up in her face, basically.
Close play at home. I think this is going to give us a good look as Suto steps into the plate. Japan were quick to run on that, too. That was from second, and she just slides in there.
Oh, It's still hard to see because you can't see at what timing Chelsea's glove hits her body.
Japan have now delivered a pair of 2-out hits, one in the third, one in the second, and we are all tied up at 2, but it's barely. This Japanese team just finds different ways to score, Joyce. It is impressive to watch. Now the double steal, and it's going to cost them a run. A designed play, and Robinson decides to chuck the ball to second, and wasting no time from third is Nakamizo, and Japan take the lead. This was a designed play, wasn't it?
Well, it must have been, because they would have had to put the signal on for the players to know what was happening in a 1-3 play. The hard part is to make that long throw here. Now, they were hoping at 2 out that they would get that out. Well, they haven't had one yet in this game, so percentages are down to start with. But they take the long throw, which means that runner from home is going to make it. Japan's too quick.
So
that's an aggressive attempt. I will give it that.
Either way, Japan are quick on the base pass, and because of that, a runner scores from third. Japan putting pressure on the Australians, and it's on Japan's credit. I mean, that's rewarding, simulating some pressure.
Yes, it is. And we really don't want the next run to score. We need to get this out right now.
Keep a one-swing game.
Absolutely.
Japan hit 2 home runs in their win versus New Zealand this morning. Today, they're doing it by playing some small ball.
Yes.
They can beat you big, they can beat you small. They just find different ways to execute in pressure situations.
They do, and they just put the pressure on. Look, we've got Kaya Parnaby here. I love Kaya, but third walk in the innings. And the hit really wasn't a hit. That should have been an out in a normal situation. And, playing as we do now, where we sometimes feel behind the base, I suppose that's the danger of it right there.
You give Japan an inch, and they take 3 miles.
They do.
It was fascinating to watch the opener as well. Similar to this one, Australia had a multi-run lead early. They led 3-0 before Japan clawed their way back to win 7-4. But it was even just watching the Japanese infielders when Australia were up to bat, even simulating how close. They felt closer than they probably actually were.
Yes.
Robinson wagers the throw. Again, aggressive. It'll put another runner in scoring position, though.
That was much better to my liking rather than the long throw. And a very nice throw by Chelsea Robinson to third base. Keeps them honest too. Keeps their lead off small.
Fujimoto, a base hit can open up a multi-run lead. Runner on second. Runner on third. Knocked towards short. The 18-year-old Bastion. No. And that was quick. Down the line from Fujimoto. It scores a run. Almost by the time Bastion had the ball, she was at first base. And it's a 4-2 lead in a 3-run inning.
And you look at some of that and you think, oh, Abby, why didn't you charge that? But the girl who did it, Fujimoto, she can hit long. She's the best little touch. She can running bunt. And just what she did then, nice slow ball to the pivot. And can run it out. She's so quick.
You can see on the replay, by the time the ball got to first base, she had already powered off and, was probably starting to take off her gloves. That's how quick she has been. But that will spell the end of the opening outing for Kaya Parnaby, all with 2 outs. I mean, out through all of this, Joyce, what's amazing here is Japan have scored 3 runs in this inning. There hasn't been a 1 ball that's gone to the outfield at all. It's been 3 walks, a couple infield hits, and some big opportunities to capitalize on some pressure that they built.
Yes, and I think that's maybe when we saw in that first innings or the second innings where they were having those attempted running bunts, you sort of knew there was a change-up or a different plan being made by the Japanese, where maybe we needed to change our plan a little bit. And even though you look Fujimoto, who can really hit the ball, she just has all aspects of the game down pat. She can do anything. And when you're that quick, it puts 10 times more pressure on the field to be able to get her out.
Now, so this is Steph Drzezinski warming up in the circle. We'll chat her in a second, but watching her warm up pitches, there's a runner at first, and that's Arara Fujimoto, who got on. Every time she delivers, watch, there she goes. She bolts from there, too. It's interesting to see Japan using this as a warm up simulation as well.
Doesn't surprise me. They use any situation as a learning situation or a practice. Sometimes their pitchers in mid-innings, if they think they're not pitching very well, will go over and take more pitches in between innings and then go out and pitch and then go back and pitch more and then come on and pitch. You go, wow.
Kumi Ide, the 20-year-old, had an RBI double with 2 outs in the second that put Japan on the board. She stands in against Steph Drzezinski. Drzezinski has worked her way back on the Aussie Spirit squad. She was a very successful pitcher in her junior days, went away to college at University of California, has been dominating for South Australia, helping them break lengthy title droughts. Had a look a few years ago, but battled some injuries and has worked her way back on the senior squad. It's a tremendous story of resilience for Steph Drzezinski to get back in the national squad.
It certainly is, and she's really grown up as a pitcher as well. Maybe going through all that gives you that extra experience, that extra bit of resilience, as you said, and she certainly looks that way on the mound.
When Steph is at her best, she is one of the best in the country. She was excellent at the Gillies Shield as well, as part of the 1-2 tandem for South Australia. Especially in the back half of the tournament, she only allowed a run in her last 3 days, or 2 days of the tournament rather, as South Australia sort of had to do it hard way to get to the gold medal game. Didn't allow an earned run in the gold medal game earlier, in which she pitched going toe-to-toe with fellow Spirit teammate in Jenna Trim. Now she's got a hold here, tries to keep Australia in touch, and she just wants some time. Chelsea Robinson, she has worked with for her entire life.
Yes, 2 South Australians together.
Might be an unfamiliar setting for Chelsea Robinson playing on her first senior squad, but it's a familiar woman throwing to her. Now with some bat on ball to right field, and moving under it in foul territory is Nicole Conacher, but not before Japan score 3 runs. Drzezinski gets them out of a jam, but Japan lead 4-2. Well, now we're going to bring in the 3rd member of our crew, maybe even the 4th member of our crew, Georgie Radjic, standing down the left field line.
That's right, of course. We're a pretty big commentary crew here across the broadcast for the Softball Australia Club. But Fiona Crawford, you were on with us for the first game today, but we found out some pretty important information about your Australia debut. I won't say what year, but it was down here at Downy Park against the Kiwis. It must be a bit nostalgic to be coming back here and seeing Australia play New Zealand in the next game as well.
It is. It's wonderful. You're very kind. It was 1997 and I was a terrified 18-year-old playing with some legends of the sport, Tanya Harding, Mel Roach, Kim Cooper. But I was just thrilled that they gave a shot to, a pint-sized 18-year-old at that time. And Kerry Porter's doing the same thing here with the Aussie team. So it's wonderful that they're seizing these opportunities.
Yeah, and a great point at that. We've seen Arwen Kavanagh and we have seen Abby Bastian across the past couple of days. It's been a really impressive showing from both of them. Of course, we saw Arwen Kavanagh come on and pitch in that game against Japan yesterday. Talk about a pressure cooker situation for a young player who's playing under 18s last week to then face the world number ones.
I know. I just love the fact that they're playing out of their skin and they're not intimidated. They're playing against the number 1 team in the world, but they're coming out there as though they're seasoned professionals. And I think it speaks volumes to the future of softball in Australia at the moment.
We are standing in front of a very suspiciously large softball. It has a little bit about the fact that there will be a World Cup here next year too, so hopefully we'll see some of those young stars featuring then. Back to you, Eric.
That was great stuff. Fiona Crawford has won a couple Olympic medals as well. Love to get her evaluation of some of the infielders that Australia is throwing out there in the middle of the diamond. A place that Fiona Crawford would know all too well.
Yeah, second base for Australia. I'd already left the game before Fiona joined.
A couple hundred games for the Spirit as Chelsea Robinson. That's a good piece, but she flies out straight to Risa Kiromura. And an important first out here in the fourth inning for Misaki Katsumata, who has really grown into this game, hasn't she?
She has. She struggled in the beginning. Australia really got their runs in that first dig, and she's just got better as she goes on. And, you know, she's given up runners every single innings.
How's the play from third from Nakamizo? It was slashed that direction from Sarah Rio. And already, I mean, we've just said hello out of the break, and there's 2 outs on the board.
I know. We really need our next hitter, Amber Hood, to have a really good look at some pitches, take some pitches to eke this innings out.
Momentum firmly on Japan's side right now as we've reached the middle portions of this game. Amber Hood in her club competition has been known to lead the league almost every year in base on balls and just getting on base. She's got a tremendous grasp of the plate. Makes sense, she's a catcher. You notice a trend with catchers and finding ways to get on base?
Well, I've seen her play so many positions, Amber Hood.
Yeah, she can play in outfield. She's played in the, she can play all over
second
infield.
Base, yeah.
And now
yes.
Amber Hood has her first hit as a member of the Aussie Spirit.
Well done, and against one of the best pitchers in the world as well. She must be happy with that.
Cool moment for a player who has waited and waited and waited, and then waited some more for a phone call to say, hey, you're on the senior squad. She got that call just a couple weeks ago after another strong Gilly Shield. Now she stands on base versus the world number 1. Who would have thought? A kid from Mount Gambier. She spent her time driving 5 hours every Wednesday and Saturday to go play in the South Australian competition with her sister Georgia. Now a great diving play on the right side. That one was foul, but you love the effort from Shimoyama.
Oh no, amazing. They're so, their reflexes are so quick. So 2 out. We have runner on 1 and Pippa Adkins. Okay, she's only been hit by a pitch ball, which gets her on. Perfect. Really looking for her to be patient, find a good strike, and get this runner around.
Pippa Adkins has been a great development story as well. From playing juniors in South Australia, helped win a Gilly Shield in 2022, to moving to Queensland, to leading a Tasmania team in the Gilly Shield, to some competitive appearances in that national championship, to getting the call up with the Aussie Spirit. Had some struggles at the plate too in some of the tournaments, but has always found ways to improve herself, and entered today leading the tournament in hits.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Katsumata gets her chasing. Australia will leave a runner on base. Katsumata allowed the first 2 batters she faced today to score, and since then has bent but has not broken. She keeps a 4-2 lead for Japan as we head to the bottom of the 4th, and this feels like a very important innings for Australia just to keep in touch with Japan.
Well, it is. I mean, they're going to have to come back straight away. I mean, they allowed those 3 runs to come in 1 innings, and now they've got 2. Come straight back, put pressure straight back on them. We need our leadoff on the next time we come into bat. But Trzynski, I always want to put an S in front of that.
Yeah, so do I.
Trzynski always does a good job, so hopefully she can get her first 3 batters out, and then Australia can get back to the job of trying to score runs.
Trzynski, a bright softball mind, thinks the game at a high level as well. You get a conversation about her for softball. I mean, you got to book the day off of work if you get an early morning chat with Steph. She pays close attention to softball all around the country and world. Has spent some time coaching and working in Japan. Has spent some time playing in Europe, and of course around Australia. And in the United States, playing Division I college softball for a pretty strong program in California. Now she faces some of the best in the world. Fujimura leads things off. Kawamura will follow, and Shimiyama. Go from the MVP to a star of big camera to a 3-time champion. That's who she's got to navigate here to help Australia try to stay in touch. Ground ball over to first. Jenna Trim's been good there. That was routine.
She has been good there. Her hands have been very, very safe. She's hitting the ball well, Jenna Trim. And hopefully those 3 outs, this innings will be just like that. Nice, easy outs. Not too much pressure on us.
Well, Japan has had multiple base runners in all 3 of their offensive innings. The last inning, though, they scored 3 runs without having a ball leave the infield. And it was 3 walks and 2 infield hits. One that doinked off third base, the literal base. That gave them a little bit of a window. They basically said, we're going to run, and we'll see if you can catch us, and 3 runs across the plate.
Is doinked a word?
Doinked is a word now. I've used it officially on a broadcast on KO here. You can add that to the softball acumen when you're selecting players. Oh, it was good, but the doink, well, you know. Kawamura led off last inning with a strikeout. She's 0 for 2 today. Trzynski came in. She got the final out of the 3rd inning.
The interesting part about this Japanese lineup, it's never the top part of their lineup that's doing it for them. It's always lower down in the middle and the lower part of their lineup.
There's a ball knocked towards second base. Alyssa Mile moves under it, and Steph Trzynski continuing her fine form. Don't forget, Trzynski pitched 3 innings versus Japan yesterday as well. Didn't give up an earned run in that tournament or in that game yesterday as well. She's competing.
She is. She did a great job last night. It was great to see her mastering her pitches and making it difficult for the Japanese. And these first 2 outs have been excellent. Her and Chelsea Robinson are a great partnership.
Shimoyama steps up to the plate. 3-time Japanese champion. She's a world champion as well. She got the party started in the 3rd with a walk. Don't forget, all 4 runs that Japan have scored are with 2 outs on the board. There's some fickle margins in this game.
It's always under pressure when they've got a runner on base. It doesn't matter how many outs there are.
The difference between winning and losing in these type of games really comes down to those circle your scorecard moments. How do you perform when there's 2 outs? Who comes through with the big knock? Kylie Steamers, for her credit, did that for Australia to start the game with 2 outs to score 2 runs.
She did.
Australia will have confidence that they can score runs against anyone Japan throws. In fact, they had a double off Goto yesterday, the best in the world. So, you know, as long as they can stay close, Australia will have some belief in that dugout. Got to keep it close, though.
Yes, nice pitch there by Trzynski. Not quite hitting the zone. Staying close to Japan is really important. They don't want to give away any more runs. Trzynski seems right on top at the moment, looks really confident on the mound. and really having a great partnership with Chelsea. Oh,
driving the opposite direction. It's a good piece of hitting from the 3-time champion in Shimoyama. It's a good at-bat from her.
It was, and perfectly placed to right field on that outside pitch.
She's been on base 3 times now, 2 walks and a single.
Yeah, well, that's what, as a coach, that's what you really want. There's my sister out there. Hello, Lee.
This is an unbelievable venue here. And take a look around. I mean, the grandstands, obviously, there's people here. But that's what's been awesome about this venue is the Brisbane Softball Association have done a great job with those marquees that line the outfield. You see it on screen here. Great place to watch a ball game.
This is the best I've ever seen it look. It's fantastic what they've done.
What's amazing is Uchi takes the pitch. All those people that are out in the outfield, if you sat in that exact location exactly 4 years ago, they would drown because they would have been underwater.
Yes.
This place was flooded. There was water that came up above the dugouts. It was a massive community effort just to get this place back to this standard and beyond.
Yeah, the same thing happened in 74 in the 74 floods here. All of this was underwater. In fact, they've changed a lot to try and stop the flooding from happening, but still happened all that time again.
And they recovered, and then in 2025, a year ago, maybe at the end of February, I think it was, when the cyclone whipped through Queensland again, they had flooding that wasn't as severe, but it also caused some problems for the club. They had to cancel all their finals of all their divisions.
Yes.
Resilient bunch here. Yamauchi has not been retired today, and now she pops one to right field. Moving back is Conacher, and she makes the play. Japan get a base runner, but they do not score. Trzynski enters the game and holds, and will give her bats a chance to work, just down by 2 in the 5th inning.
And that was a great catch by Conacher, and really another well-hit ball by Yamauchi. They're all such good hitters. None of their hits are ever, soft, other than their well-placed bumps.
Well, I was wondering, Japan, if they've generally only thrown their pitchers for the first 4 innings. They've had 1 outing, that's gone 5. Katsumata has come in sort of in that closing relief role. She's starting today. This will be inning number 5 for her, but interesting to note, 3rd time through. Haven't really seen Atsugi see her pitchers see a lineup in a game 3 times through too often this week. But as you start to get towards the end of the tournament, they're getting stretched out a bit more and getting trusted to do just that.
Yes, and I think all of this is a big testing ground for all young players in all of the nations, given that the World Tournament is not on next year, but the year after. That's right, isn't it?
Well, the World Cup, the group stage starts this year in 2026.
And then it's the World Cup next year, and then the Olympic Games. Yes.
And the World Cup's interesting, right? I mean, they're calling the World Cup really happens over 2 years. Traditionally in a World Cup, as Nicole Conacher will lead things off, is, you go there, you play in 3 different groups, 2 different groups, you qualify, you go to the knockout stage or the super round, whatever you want to call it, and that used to be all in 1 year, 1 tournament. Now it's spread over 2 years. So the qualifiers, which is effectively the World Cup, 3 teams, 3 groups of 6, got to finish top 2 to get through. And Conacher goes the opposite way. She's aboard with her 2nd hit of the game.
That is perfect. Just what your left-handed player to do is just place that ball over the top of the infield. Love your work there, Nicole Conacher. Well done.
Australia will play in the qualifiers this year, even though they have qualified for the tournament in 2027 because they're hosting, for the record.
Yes, don't worry about me. I'm in 2025 still.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't blame you. You're just living 1 month ago. Can't believe we're a month into 2026. Here's Jenna Trim. She lays down the bunt. Moving into Shimoyama. She gets Trim out at first, but she does her job to put a runner in scoring position.
So pressure again on the Japanese team, just what the Australians need to do in this innings to come back at them. Beautiful bunt by Jenna Trim. She's been able to show us what she can do. Not only can she hit, but she can bunt and sacrifice the runner to get to 2.
Alyssa Mile singled to right her last time at the dish. Player who has really blossomed over the last few years. Went away to university. Now she'll knock one straight up in the air over to third. Nakamizo is there, and there's 2 away.
Not to worry, we have Kylie Steamers. Can she do it again? Can she hit that ball hard again? Even the last turn at bat, she had a fly to left field. Still a great hit after her 3-bag hit in the first innings.
Bit of a defensive change as well. We'll get to later in the lineup for Australia. We're getting word we might have missed that on the broadcast before. Abby Bastion out of the game. But right now, Kylie Steamers, you don't have to look far to find her last 2-out hit. It was in the first inning. Scored a pair of runs, put Australia up 2-0. Two-out execution. Games are won and lost in these moments.
Ooh, nice swing.
She's moved to Queensland, Kylie Steamers, and I see why. It is excellent down here. Played just last weekend at this field in her domestic club competition. She plays for the Queensland Heat now in the Gilly Shield. She's played for Victoria in the past.
Yes, had a change this year.
And Steamers works a walk, so Australia, the Spirit, they've got the tying run aboard, and now Maya Giros will have her first turn at the plate.
Yeah, Steamers went from Victoria, and then she went to Tasmania and played, and then has moved to Queensland.
First turn at the plate for Giros. She was named to the 2022 Aussie Spirit squad, but withdrew from the tournament to spend time with a friend who was fighting leukemia. Was named to the squad again 3 years later. And Joyce, a player that you singled out at the start of the broadcast, that said, hey, I've been really impressed with her, how she's played this week too.
Well, she was being noticed pre-leaving the game. You know, she was a young player who was really starting to come to the fore and was looking really good. So now she's just come back in and playing tough softball.
She's from Penrith, New South Wales. Just 24 years old. She was identified at a young age when she was just 20 on that first squad, but had to wait almost a full cycle, a World Cup cycle, to get back in the squad. Now she's got 2 runners on, and she's going to take this count deep.
Yes, well done.
Katsumata has allowed base runners in every inning, but just conceded the 2 runs. Trying to get out of another jam here. That might have been the one for Giros, just missed it.
Yes.
Full count. Tying run on base. 2 outs at home.
Wouldn't that be good?
It's the world number 1. Giros up the middle. It takes a funny bounce. A runner will advance to third, and Giros has loaded the bases.
Oh, that was a tough one. She hit that pretty hard back at the pitcher, but right between the legs. going to be interesting to see whether they score that one as a hit or an error by the pitcher.
Chelsea Robinson there is going to be a pinch hitter here. So Chelsea Robinson being pinch hit. I think it's going to be probably the bat you would want in this moment. Carrie Porter sensing an opportunity, and she's going with one of Australia's best.
Oh, yeah, Taylor Titz-Cronus. She's on form at the moment, and if you were the batter, Chelsea Robinson, you wouldn't care about the fact that you were giving up your turn at bat. This is a great chance for Australia. Her stick is hot at the moment, and she's hitting extra base hits as well, which is just great hitting.
She's had multiple hit games
and
in this
doubles.
tournament this week. 2 hits versus Japan on opening night, and she smashed those balls. Could have had 3 hits.
Yes, and in fact, at the meeting last night, I did say to her, oh, great hitting, love those 2 base hits, lots of them. And then the girls went, oh, we're waiting for her to hit it over. So, well, wouldn't this be the perfect time?
Bases loaded, 2 out.
Ooh.
It was a 2-out hit that Japan had with bases loaded in the 5th inning yesterday, a triple that Yamauchi delivered down the right field line that scored 3. Australia has a chance to return serve. Titz-Cronus became a mom just 5 months ago.
She's amazing. She has the baby here. She's just working hard for Australia and trying to do her mothering at the same time, which is just awesome, and playing great softball.
Big moment for the Spirit. That ball in the dirt, it could cost Japan a run. Dashing home from third is Conacher. Australia have sliced the lead in half. The other 2 runners advance.
Well, that is the time you want your catcher to totally block that pitch so the runner can't come home. You do anything to make sure the ball doesn't get past you. And luckily for Australia, the ball actually slid up the side of the wall, making it very difficult for Japan to get the runner out at home.
Giros at second, Steamers at third. Giros would represent the go-ahead run, but Titz-Cronus needs the ball in play.
Oh, good batting. You know, she was never going to get anything in the slot. She was always going to be thrown around. And look, you have to be patient. We keep saying it all the time. The better you hit, the more patient you have to be to keep that great batting. That's fantastic from Titz-Cronus. Of course you wanted to hit. She's on form. But the walk's still great.
And it's going to prompt a change from Japan.
Oh, go to.
Well, Japan has not lost to Australia in over 2 decades. And they don't want it to end in 2026 on the last day of January. You save your biggest bullet for the biggest spot, and with bases loaded, the go-ahead run at second base, 2 outs on the board, they are going to arguably the #1 pitcher in the world.
Well, I mean, it's smart coaching to change it right now. Australia are doing a fantastic job putting the pressure on, and coming back and coming back. This is what you want to see from an Aussie team, and I'm so proud of them that they're getting back into the game even though they had runs scored against them. It's a measure of a great team. You know, they've only got 1 more run to get.
Goto is a Olympic gold medalist. She's a world champion. And she's only 24 years old, Joyce Lester.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got Tamika Whitefield coming up as well with a change. Rio coming out. And Tamika coming in, although she hasn't had a lot of hits, Meeks, she's so tough in the batting box, and every time she gets in there, she hits the ball. She's had more experience than Rio against this pitcher, so good call from the coach.
Whitefield from Brisbane. The lefty Goto gets set. Whitefield bat on ball, just staying alive. You know, those pitches coming in at about 106 right now, Joyce Lester.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. And you have Meeks anyway, who went to Japan and went over to SGH and did some training over there to try and better herself, try and learn how the Japanese train. So she's had a bit of experience there. Oh, well done, staying off that pitch.
She was thinking about it.
Yes.
Whitefield has a cardboard cutout down the right field line that is here that people are taking photos with. She is very much a local hero. Check swing, ball slipped away. I think it was off the edge of the bat.
Yes.
Or maybe not. It wasn't. Yeah, I think so. Stays a 2-2 count. Australia were up 2-0. Japan scored 4 on the trot. But the Aussies, all with 2 outs, by the way, have generated 3 straight base runners. Whitefield, huge opportunity here.
Oh, staying in there, Tamika Whitefield.
After attacking outside, she tried to jam her up in, and this is a plucky at-bat from Tamika Whitefield.
It is a tough time.
Anxious moments in the crowd. In the city that Tamika Whitefield grew up playing softball in, has a chance to be the hero for her country. Whitefield up the middle! Australia have tied the game!
Sorry, very excited here. Oh, Tamika Whitefield just won that ball. She actually, that's called hitting the pitcher.
Literally.
Oh, she hit that so hard, gave Goto no chance whatsoever of even getting a glove to it. Ouch. That scores the run. Wow, that was a great turn at bat. How aggressive. Tamika Whitefield, you're a hero.
Joyce Lester, at the beginning of this inning, you said the Spirit need to perform with 2 outs. And with 2 outs, they've gone walk, single, walk, single. It's resulted in 2 runs. And Australia have fought back from 4-2 down to tie the game versus the world number 1 and a team they haven't beat in 20 years. Now, Amber Hood, the rookie.
Yes, and she had a hit last turn at bat. That's obviously why she's still in the batting lineup. This is what she's good at in Australian championships. She always gets the clutch hit.
9 different players have been on base for the Spirit today. It has been a team effort.
Well, it's super impressive. I love it. Nix will be very proud that she's done that. You know, she struggled a little bit, come through with the goods right at the right time.
Amber Hood just stays alive, but Goto has her on 2 strikes. Regardless of this at-bat, it's been a successful inning for Australia, but they still have them loaded. You might not get a better opportunity to score than this right here. The rookie Amber Hood knocks it in play. Goto turns, fires, and delivers a strike. And Australia leave the bases loaded, but they do score 2 runs, all with 2 outs, and it is game on at Downy Park.
Oh, it is. That's just so impressive. Like when great call from the coaches, bringing in the changes of the hitters, worked really well. They had to throw to Tits Cronus, who was so patient. Got a walk. We really wanted a hit, but, you know, patient to get a walk, and it just proves the right thing to do, because then, of course, they bring on Meeks, and Meeks has done a great job. Slams it straight back to the pitcher, literally hits the pitcher, bashes her in the legs, and scores the run.
Well, Carrie Porter has gone to her bench in this game, pulling the right string. She started a very inexperienced lineup in terms of international competition. These women have played a lot of softball in their day. I'm not saying if you're not on the Spirit, if you're not experienced, but in terms of the international moments. But late, when she saw a window, she decides to go to some of her veterans on the team, and they all came through. Titsakronis gets on base. Whitefield singles up the middle. Giros gets on base. They all came through. It's 3 for 3 for Carrie Porter.
Oh, yeah, that's good coaching, and I think knowing what players to go in, what time of the game to do it in is imperative. And KP, and you know, and her crew, she's got the others in there. She's got Ned, and she's got Ben, and also Tanya Harding, and they're all working together to try and get the best possible outcome for the Australian team.
Tanya Harding was in the circle the last time that Australia beat Japan at the senior level. Now she's in the dugout. Australia trying to do it again.
Yes, she was a great competitor. She would have a lot of experience to be able to pass on to these pitchers.
Giros is now at shortstop. Titsakronis is catching. Kylie Steamers remains at third base. Tamika Whitefield, we'll see where she got maneuvered around the diamond. Is she in center field?
Oh, that's Pippa in center.
So Pippa Adkins is now in center. Sarah Ryu started the game there. Scorers are still working through the changes as well. Conacher in right, I think, still. Amber Hood in left. Giros at short.
Yes. All looks the same. I think she must be watching at this stage.
Well, Adkins started as the DP. Now she's in center field. She took a great catch yesterday. It's knocked out to left field. And Amber Hood, a little heart-in-mouth moment. It's going to go down as an adventurous L7.
Well, she's having a bit of a giggle too, but great. You know, probably misread it a little bit, but it matters at the last minute. She got that ball, caught it. A big sigh of relief.
Steph Drzezinski has now recorded 5 outs since she's come in the game, and she entered in a big spot. It was bases loaded for Japan as well. They had already scored 3 in the third, and had Drzezinski given up a hit, it might have been out of reach for Australia. Instead, they've been able to rally around a tremendous performance in the circle. This has taken everybody right now in the Spirit dugout just to stay in this fight.
It has been a fantastic team effort. But look, that's what teammanship is all about, backing up the other players. And you don't mind if someone takes your place as long as they're going to battle it out, and work hard at it.
Pass the baton. Do your job and let the next person do theirs. Sometimes your role description might have to change as well. Nakamizo knocked into foul territory. Amber Hood was having a look. Both Amber Hood and Pippa Adkins in the outfield have had some really nice catches in this tournament so far.
Oh, the outfield for Australia have been awesome. We won't talk about yesterday. I don't know what happened with Pippa. She lost the ball somehow when she did that muff fly, but I want to forget about that because she's been amazing.
Diving catch was good too.
She was amazing, and the outfield generally for Australia have been awesome. I want to think when Australia won the silver medal in Athens, the outfield for Australia was amazing. You could hardly get the ball past them. Makes for a very great defensive team having a strong outfield, especially against world beaters like Japan.
Trzynski battling away. It's a full count to one of the toughest outs, and Nakamizo was out on her first at-bat today. She's responded with 2 hits. She's now 6 for 6 with 3 walks and a fly out this week. 6 for 7, I should say, sorry. Wouldn't be an inning without Japan having at least a base runner, Joyce Lester.
Oh, that's right. It'd be nice not to have any one innings, just one.
They make you work for it. Shio Suto from Shining Vega, World Cup champion as well. It's a steady diet of left-handed hitters on this Japanese team. Steph Trzynski velocity sitting around that 100, 105 mark, Joyce, you think?
Yeah, she's doing pretty well. She's very consistent. But when you say that, and I think that's the thing with the Japanese team, they really mix their speeds. They have like 3 speeds. And so even against Meeks last time, I think the speeds went from 106, 82, 90, and then to 105. That were really making Meeks work hard. So that was a really amazing turn at bat.
Popped up to right field. Who wants it? Alyssa Mile does. It's 2 down.
And still with the runner on first, and that's exactly where we'd like to keep her.
Well, the bottom of the lineup for Japan in Suto, Fujimoto, and Ide have caused all kinds of problems for the Spirit today. They have helped cash in some runs. The Ide double, the Fujimoto RBI, the stolen base. 7, 8, 9 have got it done for Japan today. This has turned into the danger part of the lineup.
Yeah, always. And now you've had that change, and you've got Taylor Titsakronis catching to Trzynski. Obviously, they wanted to stay in the game in case it gets to a tiebreaker, and she might come up to hit. They really want that power batting in the lineup.
One former Spirit player tell me, I said, hey, who do you watch out for in Japan in the lineup? And they said, hey, give me a number between 1 and 9. I said 6. She said, that one. Yeah. Didn't matter the number, that would have been said.
That is so true.
Fujimoto, one of the toughest outs in this tournament, hit .333 at the last World Cup.
Last hit, 2 shortstop, and we can see that the shortstop's in a little bit, Giros, after what happened last time.
And scored a run as well.
Yes.
Tried to ride inside. Here's the throw from Titsakronis. It was in and out of the glove. It would have been one heck of a play. The throw might have been there. Instead of runners at third, and now Australia can ill afford a mistake. Otherwise, it's a free 60 and a run.
Well, that was a beautiful throw right on the spot by Tits Krones. Goes over, and she doesn't quite get that ball.
It even had that nice tail on it.
Yes, I think that was the unfortunate part, tailing away from the shortstop.
Giros had already been sort of brought in and away. She had to cover a lot of ground just to make a stab at that, and she was about an inch away. Now a ground ball up the middle, and Japan have the lead. Urara Fujimoto continues to be a thorn in Australia's side. That's a base hit up the middle, and back come the Japanese. Two RBI from Fujimoto today, both with 2 outs. And they, again, Joyce, you said they generate pressure. They try to steal a base, misplay, advance to third, and a single scores them easily.
Well, you know they stole that base specifically because where the shortstop was. They had the perfect situation. They had the girl there who'd done the push slap to Giros last time. And because she had to move in, it took her so much further away from second. Nothing goes unnoticed with the Japanese.
Playing Japan feels exhausting. It's exhausting just watching them. They are relentless. You saw that in their first game versus New Zealand. It was a game they won 12-0. They scored 9 runs in the first inning. But you saw it right away. There was a ball hit to center field, not overly hard hit. You thought it would be a single, and somehow she caught the center fielder, not napping, but not expecting her to charge first. She stood on 2. They scored 9 runs in an inning. They kept on stealing. They kept on applying pressure. It was relentless and ruthless, and that's how they play. They play to it. They play disciplined, and they just keep coming at you.
Yes, we probably have unwritten rules here where you don't steal when you're so many runs ahead. It's sort of like cricket. There's a certain way to play, when you're beating your team by a lot, but I don't think they play that way at all.
In their defense, it was the first inning of the first game, but it was relentless. You're not the world #1 by accident.
Oh, no. They've been very meted in the way they've done it, allowing players from all around the world, the best pitchers in the world, to come and play in their league. They watch them, they chant them, they know exactly how they throw. So it's tough for anyone who has a pitcher that plays in Japan.
Knocked into foul territory. Steamers fighting the sun. Makes the play. And another 2-out rally. Every run in this game, all 9 have been scored with 2 outs. It's a good one. There's 2 innings to go. Let's throw it down to the third member of our commentary crew. Georgia, what do you got for us?
Well, I'm here with Peter Edelburn, and well, it's been a really exciting game, especially the past couple of innings. Tell me a little bit about what you've seen so far.
Oh, look, as you said, it's been very tight game. They're only down by 1 run, the Australians, so all that they need to do is just keep doing what they're doing, getting runners on base and then just making sure that they're getting the ball into play and really putting pressure onto the Japanese team. As you've seen, they've made a few mistakes and things like that. So, being able to advance our runners, just keep putting the ball in play, on the ground, put it in play and make them make the plays to get the outs.
And, well, there's been a lot of chat about the fact the last time Australia beat Japan was in 2004. It was at Athens in the Olympics. You're a triple Olympian yourself, and more importantly, you led that Australian team to silver medal in that campaign. I won't ask you any specifics of that game in particular, but you must have some pretty fun memories of those times.
Oh, look, Athens was wonderful. I mean, as you know, we came away with the silver medal and stuff like that. But, look, on any given day, any of these teams could come out and win. But, thanks for reminding me that it was 20-odd years ago that we actually beat the Japanese team. But, no, look, it was such a fantastic campaign, Athens, such a wonderful experience. And, I'm just thankful that I came through in an era that softball was great and we did achieve some wonderful things. And there's so many people here in the crowd and behind the mic that are Olympians as well, and it's fantastic to see everyone giving back.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Back to you, Eric.
You want to talk about a clutch player, Joyce Lester?
Oh, well, Peter Edelburn. You couldn't get much better than Peter Edelburn. How many times did she win games for Australia in the 2000 Olympics and continued to do it onward with a medal every time she played.
Yeah, I think she forced your hand on the neutrality of a 2000 Olympics call there, Joyce Lester. You were excited.
Yeah, she's a really great player, but probably like one of these guys. She got into the team when Sally McCready pulled out. She came in as an extra player, probably the 16th player, and came in, and she made sure she was in the team from that day on. So she said to the selectors, you should have picked me right from the start.
Yeah, if you want some good moments, just YouTube her name.
Yes.
Pippa Adkins leads things off. Australia, after tying the game at 4, have to try to generate some offense, a run to extend the game, 2 to take the lead. This is the 6th of a 7-inning game, and they're going against the number 1 for Japan. Kotu thought she had it.
Did. She's been struggling a little bit today here, Pippa Adkins.
You go to Australia did generate that one run. It was Tamika Whitefield tying the game with a hard hit ball, and now she changes pace completely, and Adkins is down on strikes.
Yes, you're taking a level up on this pitcher, the 3 different speeds, exactly what Yukiko Ueno does, uses 3 speeds. Hers are about 114, fastball 15, and then back to 108 with a movement, and then 98 on her slow pitch. That's scary. 98's what some people throw normally for their fast pitch.
You've confused me, and I'm sitting up comfortably in a commentary booth. I can't imagine what the batters are feeling.
Oh, it's tough.
Here's Conacher. Yeah, when you're at the plate, facing that sort of speed changes, like you say, how do you simplify as a batter, knowing that something different's coming every time?
Well, I suppose the hard part about playing in a situation like this is you get hard eyes. You know, you focus and leave your focus. It becomes too strong. You actually need to have soft eyes and being able to watch the ball travel. See the ball out of the hand, and a lot of people don't. They get so stressed and nervous that they still focus on where the ball's left the pitcher's hand and haven't tracked it at all. All seems so easy to watch here, but it's actually not. It's a very psychologically difficult game.
Well, 2 straight strikeouts.
Yes.
To start the inning for Gotu. Checked swing from Jenna Trim. Australia just have to find a window. You imagine Gotu is in it for the distance here. Japan don't like to lose. It doesn't matter what level the tournament is. They sensed a threat. It was 4-3, bases loaded, and they brought in their ace. Japan have already clinched a spot in the final game, by the way. It's not a meaningless game because all these games have meaning when you represent your country, but in terms of the standings, now a hard hit ball to left field. Jenna Trim gives it a rush. She's gone deep. It's a tie game.
All right, Jenna Trim, just what Australia needed to bring this game back. If only we had a runner on base or 2 runners on base.
Jenna Trim goes deep against the Japanese number 1, and look at her expression. Australia have tied it again.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic hitting by Jenna Trim. She just whacks that ball and it goes sailing over that fence, and that's a huge fence. Like, it's not your normal size fence. That is an incredibly long hit. And she's done everything in this game. She was K'd, had a walk, had a sacrifice, and now a home run. She can do the lot.
It's a bingo for Jenna Trim. This is one heck of an effort from the Spirit. Hey, if you're watching at home, text your friends, text your softball community, get it up in the club rooms. This is something that doesn't happen often. Australia playing the world number one and going toe-to-toe with them. Every time you think the Spirit are down and out, they find something.
Oh, it is a great sign of a good team when teams can come back like this.
Now Alyssa Miles steps up to the plate.
You just want to win the battle. You've just got to keep at it. Keep your foot on the accelerator. Keep going. Just keep pushing the whole time.
Now Mile puts the ball in play. Suto retires Mile, but wow, that was a big inning when a big swing from Jenna Trim. And we'll head to the bottom of the sixth, and Australia are still tied with the world champs.
I seriously love this. You know, they talked a lot about how they were going to change their game. You know, I listened to them last night about how many runners they've left on base, and they'd counted them up. You know, and the coach had said, you know, what are your thoughts on what went on? And I think, you know, when the answer came up, too many runs left on base, that is it. And so even though we still have left a lot on, as have Japan, but that they really have improved.
All 10 runs in this game have been with 2 outs, Joyce
Wow.
Lester. That's execution, not just like, let's give some credit to Japan here. Both these teams, when the chips are on the line, there's 2 outs on the board, they have come through big time.
Oh, no, that's tough, and that shows a tough team.
Well, this is a big call in a big moment for an Aussie Spirit debutante for this new pitcher in the circle.
Oh, it really is. Here we have Arwen Kavanagh, okay, under-18 player who's just played in the under-18 tournament.
Last week, by the way.
Yes, last week. It wasn't really named to the last minute, so nobody knew she was, you know, named in the team till the last moment. So here she is. And she's played in a lot of games. You know, I think some people thought that probably some of the young players weren't going to play a lot. But good on them. The coaches are putting them out there, testing them. Can they do this? And this will give them all the answers.
Arwen Kavanagh getting the ultimate sign of trust from manager Carrie Porter. On the verge of doing something historic. They are going to the kid. She was on the under-18s and left a path of destruction on the way to this event. She was the best pitcher, the MVP, the player of the grand final, on the all-tournament team, then got the call up to the Aussie Spirit all in the last 10 days. She pitched versus Japan on opening night.
Yeah, she did really well. She came in and was quite strong. But the last game she came in, where she pitched, she really found it difficult to get that drop ball as strike. And it looks to me like that's those last 3 pitches that she has.
Looks like there's someone in the bullpen as well for the Spirit. You got to wonder what the leash is here for the teenager and Arwen Kavanagh. Can't vote, can pitch versus world number 1 Japan.
Well, I'm sure they just want to change. You know, change it up, try and do anything they possibly can to keep Japan not in a steady flow, which is what they're really good at. Once you give them something, they just take off. Oh, excellent way to come back there, Arwen Kavanagh. Beautiful change-up.
Steph Drzezinski ends up pitching 2 1/3 innings, held very much Japan to just the 1 run, including getting them out of a bases-loaded jam when she came into the game. And it's a leadoff base runner in terms of Natsumi Fujimura.
Very dangerous. You know, you've got a 5-all ball game. You do not want to put your lead runner on. Pressure straight away. As soon as you've brought back that run, equalised it, and straight away you make it difficult again. But hopefully Australia can make sure this runner does not score.
You see the numbers. on screen. Risa Kawamura has been excellent this tournament. Australia, you figure, need to hold here. You kind of feel like it's a race to 6, Joyce Lester.
Well, it is a race to 6 at the moment.
Well, that pitch hitter, and now there's 2 runners on and no out. And how do you go about this defensively, as I think we might get a change as well. And as that happens, what do you do defensively when there's a runner in first and second and nobody out?
Well, you'd hope you'd strike out the batter, but I'm sure that the Japanese are probably going to do the usual and bunt to get the runners on 2 and 3. But for the offense for Australia, they really need to make sure they get an out in this situation. Even having runners on 2 and 3 with 1 out, it's very, very dangerous. Anything could happen. They've got great bunters. They could easily just put the ball down and score the run from 3.
The youngster in Arwen Kavanagh is going to have to find her best stuff to try to limit Japan here. She's being coached in the dugout by the pitcher who faced Japan the last time Australia won, and Tanya Harding. Can she pass the mantle here for a historic opportunity? And there's a first pitch strike right after the mound visit.
Excellent.
A sign of confidence.
Oh, this girl can hit, can't she? But there you go. There's the bunt.
There's the bunt. Kavanagh fields, and she can't.
Nobody on first base.
There was nobody on first. It's a good job she didn't throw, but yeah, you're right. Jenna Trim had also peeled in. It was Mile who was late getting over to first, and now bases are loaded and nobody are out.
Yes, I think Mile will be kicking herself on that when that bunt went down. Once Jenna Trim came off first base, she needed to go over and take that base. Well done, Arwen Kavanagh, for not throwing the ball.
Sayori Yamauchi has had an impactful extra base hit in all 3 of her last 3 games. Homered versus New Zealand. Triple that cleared the bases late game versus Australia. And then homered again versus New Zealand this morning.
Yes, a very difficult situation here. Again, Arwen, can she rise above it? She just needs to hit those corners, needs to throw strikes as well. Oh, nice pitch. Bad luck.
As a catcher, what are you asking for? Is it just your best pitch, or is it get a bit more methodical than that?
Well, when you're looking at a hitter like this, you really want them to hit balls or off-speed pitches, and that was a beautiful call before on the off-speed. And again, that's perfect. I love that. She's a great hitter. You know, you've got to put them off balance, make sure that they're not going to be in their hitting zone and comfortable. Great job, Taylor Tits-Cronus behind the dish.
2-2 count. Everybody here at Downy Park dialed in.
Oh.
Tried to go up. Hey, if you're going to miss high, miss higher than high.
Up with her, yes.
Yeah.
Going to keep seeing that ball she hit.
Full count. Bases loaded. There is nowhere to put perhaps the most dangerous batter in this lineup. Swing and a miss!
Yes. Well done.
Arwen Kavanagh strikes out the power hitter with bases loaded. But it's just 1 of 3 Australia need. Kana Kudo, a world champion, the 2-time batting champion of the Pro League in Japan, is now at the plate versus the kid from Newcastle.
Yes, and she makes that first pitch a strike. Excellent work.
I don't know what was said to her in that visit
Oh, no,
but she's
I
responded.
I like it. Oh.
You see words of encouragement from the infield after every pitch as well, Joyce.
Yes, and you've got the most experienced player behind the dish calling the shots to Arwen, and of course another New South Welshman. They would have worked together.
Found the edge. 2 strikes.
I'm getting a little excited here.
You're forgiven. Every pitch seems like the biggest pitch of the game. Knocked.
Oh, yes.
And that's a big out. Kavanaugh's got 2 of the 3. And now a woman who's only been out once all week comes to the plate.
Yeah, that foot's got to stay on the accelerator. You've got 2 out. Most dangerous time, as you keep saying.
2 outs.
They've got to change this up. They need to get this first out with 2 out.
Every run has been scored with 2 out. This would be the biggest swing of the game.
Oh, well done, keeping that ball in front.
Nakamizo is 2 for 3 today, 6 for 7 on the tournament. Had a 1,000 batting percentage entering the game today. She plays with Denzo. Swing and a miss.
Nice.
This is gutsy stuff.
It is gutsy stuff.
Arwen Kavanaugh. Knocked to the right side,
yes.
Scooped up, and Arwen Kavanaugh helps Australia escape an almighty jam.
Oh my goodness, that is absolutely amazing. When she first came on and she couldn't throw that drop ball for a strike, I was a little worried, but she absolutely proved that she could do this. That is a pretty gutsy effort by Arwen Kavanaugh.
I know Jenna Trim has hit a home run. I know there could be another moment in this game, but if Australia do find a way to win this game, that is the moment you will be talking about. Bases loaded, nobody out, and here are the 3 players she got out, Joyce Lester. Sayori Yamauchi. She's hit 2 home runs, more than any other player in this tournament so far, and leads the tournament in RBIs. Kana Kudo, a 2-time batting champion and a World Cup champion with Japan. Yui Nakamizo, only out once the entire tournament. Strikeout, ground out, and a pop to third. Unbelievable from a kid who was playing in the under-18s last week.
I know, I'm super impressed for her, and I think the really important thing for Arwen is that she takes it in a stride, that she just, that is just what she needs to do all the time. There's nothing special. She just needs to make those important pitches, cut the edges of the plate, and she's going to be fine. She's got the goods.
What on earth was said to her on that visit? I thought that she was going to be taken out of the game, to be honest. It was runners on first and second. She just hit a batter. I thought that was a chat to say, you know what? You gave it a crack. We're going with someone else. But it was a vote of confidence, and it was the right decision.
I know, it was great. Well done.
Kylie Steamers.
She really didn't start well in that first bit, but, full credit to her. She came back. She pitched her little heart out. And Tits Cronus, great job in partnership behind the plate. Great calling.
Well, it's the 7th inning. Whatever happens from here, it has been an unbelievable game.
Yes.
Ground ball over to third, scooped up by Nakamizo. I think it was called foul before. Is it safe to call it the game of the tournament so far?
Oh, it is. It's definitely. Definitely the game of the tournament.
5-5 in the 7th inning. If it does, called out on strikes, Australia have to go through Miu Gotu. If it does go to extra innings, it starts with a runner on second. Just to confirm the tiebreaker rules, it's WBSC rules played at this tournament.
Yes.
For all you thinking it at home. Well, here is Maya Giros, singled and helped put some pressure in a plucky 5th inning. Australia started the 5th down 4-2, and they had a tremendous 2-out rally that tied the game at 4. This game has been a seesaw, Joyce Lester.
I know, it's been the best game yet, and still continuing to be a good game as both teams keep coming back at each other.
It has been a crazy one. Australia started the game by scoring 2 runs. Adkins and Conacher reached. Kylie Steamers, who just struck out, belted one down the left field line. Australia went up 2-0. Japan responded with 1 in the second and then scored 3, capitalizing off of walks and a couple infield hits to go up 4-2. And we kind of thought, you know what? Australia started strong again. Japan just found a way, but Australia bounced back, tied it at 4 in a 5th inning, a 2-out rally. And Japan again, pressure on the base paths, took a 5-4 lead in the 5th inning. And again, you'd be forgiven if you thought with Miyu Goto in the game, the world #1, you would have thought, all right, Australia gave it a crack, that was it. And then Jenna Trim, home run, ties the game up at 5. But then Japan bounced back with bases loaded, nobody out again. Great effort, Australia, but somehow a Houdini act. And now Goto gets one on the outside of the plate.
Yes. That was a bit of a tough one for Giros. Great pitch, finishing off that group of pitches by Goto to strike her out.
Taylor Tsitsikronis. She walked in that 2-out rally, and she has hit the ball hard this week, Joyce. That is one thing I have learned about the form of Tsitsikronis 5 months removed from having a child.
I'm having a home run chant happening inside me at the moment.
Well, now it sounds it's outside of you as well. I think you've just vocalized it. That's all right. You can cheer for this one.
I've got a chant happening here.
Well, if you were to circle a player that has home run power, I know Trim homered already, it would be Tsitsikronis.
It would be. And look, I think sometimes you have to practice hitting home runs for a situation exactly like this. Bottom of the 7th, 2 out. You know, and look, they know that she can do it. They're not going to throw much to her. So she's got to be patient like she was last turn at bat. She got to walk. They ain't going to be serving up too much to Tsitsikronis. That's the hard part about being a good batter.
It's a difficult one, though, because Tamika Whitefield is on deck. So even if they do walk her here and pitch her fine, it puts a base runner on.
It does. There's a law that you never put the winning runner on. There is that, isn't that right?
It's an unwritten. I think it's an unwritten one for sure. What a battle between the world #1 and Australia. This comes just a few weeks removed after Australia went 0-4, managing just 2 hits versus the USA, a huge step forward for the program.
Tsitsikronis stays in there, fouls that off, has another chance. And this is a two outs. Really need Tsitsikronis to do something here.
She is as close to a rock star as you can get in terms of Australian players on this team. She's got a presence about her. Swing and a miss. Goto strikes out the side and chucks a 0 on the scoreboard for Japan. And they'll turn over the lineup. And now they've got an opportunity to walk off Australia.
Yes, this is the advantage of actually fielding first, that you get the last bat in a situation like this. So they have an added advantage. They know that this is their 7th batter, the chance to beat the 5 runs. And Arwen has to make sure that leadoff runner does not get on. The first out, of course the third out's very important, but the first out's super important.
Joyce, 18 different players in this game have reached base. That's hard to do.
I know, that's been pretty amazing given the teams we're talking about here.
Both teams, it's been a team effort from Japan, it's been a team effort from Australia, but the effort has really started for Japan with their 7, 8, 9, and that's who Arwen Kavanagh has to face. Shiho Soto has been on base twice, a bunt single and a walk. She's also scored. Fujimoto, who will bat second, has 2 out RBIs in 2 different plate appearances, and Kumi Ide put Japan on the board with a double in the first. Those 3 are due up here. They have been terrific.
It's the danger part of their lineup.
Oh, to have a lineup where you can say the danger part is the 7, 8, 9.
I know.
Now, regardless of outcome, an effort that the Spirit should and will be proud of, I am sure. They have shown they're not far off. And she finds the outside edge. Nervy times, knowing the game could be over with a swing. That's the 1 swing warning we're at right now, Joyce.
Oh.
Or we could be here for another 2 hours. Softball that's the beauty of this game. It's infinite. We could play 15 extra innings theoretically. I don't know if my heart could handle that, so, you know.
Yes, well, I don't think that will happen. I don't think I'd last.
Mathematically possible, though.
Yes, it is.
Knocked over, a diving effort from Giros. And Suto continues her excellent day, and the winning run is aboard. Just stayed with it.
Yes, Miss Speedy's up here. Left-handed Speedy, who can do absolutely anything. Now, you assume she's going to bunt. You assume they're going to play the traditional percentage softball.
Fujimoto started the week batting number 2 for Japan. It was this game they decided to move her down the lineup. Batting 8, it is looking like a masterstroke right now from Atsugi, the legendary coach of this Japanese team. She's already reached on an infield single, so even with the bunt, you have to be mindful of her speed.
Oh, you're just going to have to get rid of the ball as fast as you can to first base, and then make sure third base is covered to make sure she doesn't do the suicide steal.
Japan have so many different ways they can turn the screws and apply pressure on you, whether it be decision-making, physically having to be quick, or just needing your best stuff. She's liking that outside part of the plate.
She is, and she looks good. You know, even in a situation like this, I know that Japan look like they're confident, but I really think that they must be pressured. I don't think they were expecting this. And Australia have come at them and pressured them, just like we all talked about. It's been great to watch.
Knocked over to second. It's Speedy, and that's what speed does. I think Alyssa Mile was just looking up at the speedy runner, and the ball bopped off her glove, and now a fly ball wins it for Japan.
Yeah, I think you caught that very well. It's difficult when you've got a fast runner like that. You really have to do your basics right, keep your head down on the ball, make sure you have the ball first before you look up to where you're going to throw.
The youngest player. Oh, I think we have a pinch hitter in this.
Delayed steal.
This is Yume Kirishi coming in for a pinch hit for the youngster. Kirishi, one of the most experienced and clutch players, playing for big camera as well in Japan. And I wondered, are they going to put her on base and go for just create the force out? Right decision to go bases loaded here?
Yes, absolutely. You've got to try absolutely anything, and having loaded bases means any base is an out.
Unfortunately for the Spirit, they'll have to face the reigning Diamond League MVP in Fujimori.
And that infield's right in to be able to make that play at home, knowing that the runners are quick.
That ball slips away. This could be the ball game. Play at the plate, and she's out! Titsakronis dives back, and umpire says she got the tag on.
Oh!
Wow!
I like that. This is the better angle of whether she gets her hand. Oh! That was close. He's had best view of that, but that glove did go right to the position where her hand was going. Wow.
A diving Titsakronis. If she's called safe, the game is over, and we're already in a post-game interview.
Well, that was amazing. That was a great call by Titsakronis to dive there. She had her glove in the exact spot that the girl was putting a hand in. Right on that front corner of the plate. And he's right there. He can see. Look at her. That's amazing.
That is a ridiculous effort.
That is great.
From Titsakronis.
Oh, no, Taylor,
she can see the game literally being lost in front of her, and she dives out and says, not on this pitch.
Well, you can see her hand go straight out, basically across the front of that plate, on the edge. Amazing. What a great play.
And throughout all of that, I think you now see Fujimori on first base to keep the bases loaded and a force out in play. So Porter just keeping the line moving as now Risa Kawamura steps up to bat. Joyce, it's an important reminder to those at home that in this situation, in the seventh, Australia wants the bases loaded.
Oh, they do. It makes for easier outs. And look, they've brought their infield right in. They're really going for this, pressurising those batters to try and get it past them. And at this point, they're going to be able to make the out at home. And look who's on third base. They're going to have to play pretty quick if they get the ball to get the out at home.
Fly ball wins it. That ball slips away. Can Titsakronis do it again? Not this time. Japan win a tight one. Australia push the world number one to the brink, but pressure comes through and Japan survive.
I know, that was just, you couldn't have asked for a better game than that. Look, Australia did all the right things. They came out, pressured the Japanese players right from the start. Look, and I'm going to say since the last time that we played Japan, in Japan, I'm going to say that Japan probably thought Australia were going to be pretty easy. And Australia have done their homework. They've come back. They've pressurised. They're hitting the ball. They're not getting struck out that often. And big ticks to Australia for that game. They played really well. It's just a really sad way to lose a game.
I think if you're Australia, you can tick a box of having some big game moments. Jenna Trim, game-tying home run. The rally, keeping the line moving to tie the game at 4. Kylie Steamers, a 2-out double. Arwen Kavanagh with the Houdini act. They had the big game moments required to beat a team like that. The one thing, a couple too many walks, a couple miscommunications in the field, and it's a wild pitch that ends the game. Those little moments make up a huge difference in the game. Well, I think standing by, we have someone who hit a big home run in that game. Let's throw it down to Georgia.
That's right. I'm here with Jenna Trim. Jenna, I mean, it's got to be a tough pill to swallow because you guys were in that right to the very end. That was a brilliant thing to watch, and knowing how close it was, does it give you a little bit of fire towards tomorrow's games as well?
Yeah, definitely. It gets us pepped up. I mean, that's the closest we've been to them in a while. This week, this tournament, we've kept on getting closer and closer, and we're getting better and better every day, so better watch out for tomorrow.
And I mean, you have these tense moments and these moments of brilliance across your home run. Tell me, how did it feel coming off the bat?
Very good. Very, very good. Just hoping that it was kept going over the fence, and it did, and that it's good. Good to tie up the game and keep us in it till the 7th innings.
And of course, we've spoken at length about some of the debutants across the squad in this tournament. To have a 17-year-old come on and get that strikeout in her first innings as she did, that is more than a pressure cooker situation, but we know that pressure builds these moments, especially considering we're heading into a World Cup cycle. You've got to be pretty proud of some of your young teammates around you.
Oh, yeah, massively. Alwyn and Abby have stepped up into a role that's really hard to succeed in, and they've done absolutely amazing this week. Like, you've seen them hit the ball, come out under pressure like it's no one's business, and Alwyn shutting out that innings as well was something that doesn't happen very often, especially against Japan, world number one, so she's done really well for herself.
Definitely. Well, a really tough game, but a brilliant game, and it really gets you excited for what's to come in tomorrow's last day of competition too. Thank you so much for joining me, Jenna, and back to you, Eric.
What a game we just watched, Joyce. Just first, I just want to hear your feelings. Let's get rid of the softball analysis in here. As a lifelong Australian softball fan, what are your feelings after watching that game?
My feelings are that Australia are really on the right track. We are doing a lot of the right things, but I think the most important time to beat someone's in a grand final. It's not necessarily in the rounds. You know, I suppose it's a testing ground for us. I want to see us beat New Zealand all the time, and I want to see us do better against Japan. But if you beat them in the final, that counts.
Well, Australia had big moments against big-time players. They just need to set themselves up perhaps a little cleaner. But what a game that was. It was a pleasure to watch that one with you, Joyce Lester. Thanks so much for joining as always. Georgia, amazing job always. She gets so much out of the people that she talks about around the ground, and everybody at Spacequake Sports and KO for bringing that in Australia and around the world. Any final thoughts from this one, Joyce Lester?
Oh, no, I'm just looking forward to watching the next game with New Zealand.
It's on to the next one. First pitch in that at about 3:30 p.m. Quick turnaround for Australia. We'll leave you there. My name's Eric Bolnar. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you in half a.